She can hear us. She can smell us.
Good morning, Vietnam!
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Film and Everything Podcast.
What's going on, guys? The Film and Everything Podcast. We are finally back. We've been gone for 3 weeks now. We're out of town, enjoying the holidays, and we are now doing the podcast via Skype. I'm here with Josh. Josh, talk so we make sure I can hear you good.
Hi.
So Josh is my new OS system, like in the movie Her. Instead
Call
of
me
Scarlett
Samantha.
Call me Samantha. Instead of Scarlett Johansson, it's Joshua now. So we're gonna still keep the podcast going, guys. I'm located up in Orlando now. Joshua's still down south, but we're still gonna keep the podcast
Back
going.
down south. I'm up north.
And
This fucking guy.
so we're gonna keep this going, and today I wanted to talk about 1917. Really, I was super pumped for this movie. I saw it twice.
Ooh,
I saw it again. I saw it again today. I think we both saw it at opening night, right? Like at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I saw it in Dolby, baby. Dolby.
We saw it at the same time.
Oh.
So before we actually talk about the movie, I wanted to mention real quick. I saw it today in 4DX, and it's very interesting. It's literally like riding Shrek 4D. Like I was sitting
The
next.
ride is terrible. The
Yeah.
ride sucks.
So when you go in, it's like there's seats, but they're lifted up, and then there's like a little thing to put your feet. So your feet are not just like on the floor. You have to kind of step
But
up on the step.
do you smell anything?
Yeah, kinda. Not like it's not like super intense, but you smell stuff. I mean, I
Like
was
what?
eating my pop. So, well, first let me explain the seats, right? So the seats, it has a little stepper. Then you step on it, then you sit down. So it's kind of like if you're like on a wheelchair or something, but it's like a lifted chair, and it has a stepper on the bottom, and that's where your feet go. So that makes sure that you're planted, because the thing does move around a lot. It's like kind of crazy. So whatever, I'm here, and I have this old guy next to me, and I guess the old guy doesn't know what this is. You know, like those old people that they haven't been in the theaters in a long time.
Or
So-
30 years.
yeah. So I was already laughing because during the trailers, they were giving that trailer for the one about the Invisible Man. That Blue
Oh,
House, and he's just like, Jesus. He was like, what the hell is this? And then they gave the trailer for that Churning movie, the scary one with the kids, from Stranger.
yeah.
And then by the end of that trailer, he's like, wow, this thing's got my blood pressure going. So then whatever. And then they gave the Top Gun trailer. But with the Top Gun trailer, it was using the 4DX. And they did like, you know how Dolby gives you like a demonstration of how Dolby works? So does the 4DX. So they were showing this action scene. And I was literally trying to eat my popcorn. And I was like bouncing around, and my hand was going everywhere but in my mouth. And the old guy next to me was like holding on, and he was like drifting everywhere. He's like, "Oh Jesus, oh Jesus!" And he almost like came off the chair. My water bottle was shaking everywhere. It was literally like an earthquake. Like if we were writing some sort of literally like Shrek, but it's like worse. And then I'm eating, and then like they spray water on you. You know, like those little air sprays, like in the rides. Literally, it sprayed right into my face while I was eating popcorn. All this while I'm
shat right in your face.
So that's going on. The thing splats in my face. I'm trying to get the popcorn in my mouth. I'm bouncing around everywhere. My hair's jumping, and the old guy's like holding on, like Jesus, Jesus. And then like it stops, and then it goes up and down. Air cans spray from behind your neck. Like it's like the whole thing. It's a full experience. So I was
That's
dying.
terrible.
This guy was struggling. This guy was really struggling to hang on. He's like, Jesus. And then the spray. I'm here trying to get the popcorn in my mouth, and I can't see it, and I'm moving. No, if somebody eats while doing that 4DX, they're gonna shit themselves, because I'm literally eating and I'm bouncing up and down, left and right, and there's times you have to hold on. I felt like my water bottle was gonna spill everywhere. But it was cool. Like I can see why it would be annoying though, because I did read up on people that they go to watch like Fast and the Furious or something with that.
Oh yeah, it's the whole movie.
That's
It's
the
the whole-
whole movie. With this movie, it worked fine. It actually worked in their favor, but I can imagine like a Hobbs and Shaw or something, where the whole
God.
movie you're just shifting around like a puppet, just like it was really bad. I couldn't eat my popcorn, so I had to wait until the trailers were done, and then when this movie started, it was more calm, and then it was only for like certain action set pieces and stuff. It was interesting. It was really interesting, but the guy next to me was freaking out. He's like, "Oh, oh!" It feels like you're gonna fall off the chair. That's why you have to have the little foot plan or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It was alright. It was. I can see that being very annoying for like an action-packed movie. Like, imagine Fast and the Furious or something. You know,
Yeah.
it's way too. It's like it's cool, but it's a lot. It's a lot. With this movie, it worked fine, but I can picture like a Hobbs and Shaw or something that going completely bad, because it's fun for like the first 5-10 minutes, you know. Then after a while, you just kind of want to sit down and eat your popcorn, but you can't. Like you have to literally hold on. I almost spilled my popcorn, you know. So with that being said, it did work in favor with this movie because it was only for certain action set pieces and stuff like that. So like there is like a scene where like if a gunshot is going off, you feel the air blasting next to you. Like if you're getting shot at.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's a certain scene in this movie in the beginning when something is collapsing. You know what I'm talking about? And
Mhm.
they're running away. Like the chairs are shaking, and like it, so you kind of feel like you're in it with them. And that sense is cool too. Uh, Explosions and all that, those big explosions that go off, you feel it, you know. So there it works good. But I can see with the example that they showed before, it was like an action scene with the cars, racing. It was just too much. It literally felt like the Jimmy Fallon or Shrek ride, but for like 10 minutes. So in that sense, I wouldn't recommend it. But with this, it was pretty good. It was actually really good, especially with this movie. But I'll let you start off first, Josh. What did you think of the movie? I know you saw it once, but
No,
go for
the movie's amazing. It's like I was so immersed in it because I saw it in Dolby. So and Dolby's amazing. Like Dolby is really good because it sounds really well, especially
Yeah.
for this movie.
I saw it in Dolby too, but for some reason the audio didn't sound that great. It
But
sounded
that's your
better.
That's just your theater, probably.
Yeah, because it sounded better in this theater for the 4D. But yeah, continue.
The part where like like in the beginning
Yeah,
with when the thing's collapsing. Well, like before that, like I thought I got like blown up. Like I thought I
Yeah.
got like hit by a grenade because like with Adobe, like
Yeah.
I really like felt it. Like everyone jumped in the theater because everyone thought that like it sounded like a real grenade.
yeah. In this theater, the same thing happened too, because the chairs, like when that explosion happens, like this air, like the waters burst in your face, like the air, like if there's an explosion there around you. That was pretty cool. Yeah, in that sense, the 4DX definitely does work for this movie. But
And obviously, like the whole making the movie like it's done in one take is amazing. That was just so well done.
Yeah.
Like when we had the soundtrack is really good too.
yeah, who did the soundtrack for this?
Let's see,
I couldn't find out who.
I have it on Apple Music.
Let me see,
It is
because
Thomas Newman.
oh, okay, he sounds familiar.
He's done some movies. He did
Yeah.
Spectre. He did Spectre, Bridges
Oh,
Fox.
okay, yeah. I mean, this 1917 is directed by Sam Mendes, who did Skyfall, who did Spectre. The DP for this movie, the director of photography, Roger
Blade
Deakins.
Runner, Birdman. He did
Yeah.
Birdman.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if did he do Birdman?
I think he did, right? Because
I know.
he's known for that. His movies are known to be like when
Yeah,
he's
I
on.
know.
He does those one take type of.
Let me see.
Stop.
I know I
I
know
think
he
Virgos-
did. Um, let's see. I know he did. No Country for Old Men. True Grit, Skyfall. He did do Skyfall. He did Prisoners. He did Sicario.
Oh
Blade,
yes, Mario.
Blade Runner 2049. What else? Revolutionary Road. Oh, I didn't know that one. Jarhead. The Man Who Wasn't There, A Beautiful Mind. The Big Lebowski. Yeah, no, this guy's done a lot. I mean, his list goes on and on. He's done some great films, and with this one, Sam Mendes wanted to make audiences feel more immersed, and they pretty much pulled off the whole movie in this one long, continuous take, and I think they did that really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. This movie, as I was watching it the first time, I got a lot of similarities to Dunkirk. And a
Yeah.
lot of people are saying the same thing in the sense of the movie is more about the experience and pulling off that technical achievement. Because the story is very simple. The characters are very simple. You have two characters in this movie. There's not much to them. It's very simple. Dunkirk is kind of like that as well, where it's not very character driven per se. I think this movie still does well with the characters they have, but it's a lot more about being in that suspenseful, time is running out theme, with the amazing soundtracks in both movies. And it was more just about pulling off that thriller aspect of especially with this one. This one's different than Dunkirk in the sense of that one long continuous take. It does feel like you are that third member going through with them in this journey. Like there's no rest, there's no stopping point in this movie, there's no cuts. So the whole time, it literally feels like you're there with them, and the whole movie's just, you're at the start of the journey and at the end. Like there's no break in between. There's no time jumps. It's just all right there. You're kind of going through it, which I think they did that perfectly in this movie. I mean, it was perfect. It was. I mean, that's hard because they were saying it. There's no same set pieces in this movie. Every set, every scene is a new set. So they had to find a way to they had to actually build these trenches, the barn. They literally all the sets were built, and they had to time it. They had to rehearse for 4 months in order to time how long it would take them to do the scene and then build the set, because they didn't want to build the set too short or too long. It had to be just the right amount in order to pull off the shots that they wanted, because it's pretty much shooting this. They had to shoot this continuously in story order and do it. They used natural lighting for the most part, so that all meant everything had to be extremely precise in how they were going to film it. I mean, if the camera guy was a second off from his cue line, everything just goes bad, because the actor's just worried about doing his scene, and he has to run, and the cameraman has to follow him. At one point, they're, I think, detaching the camera off of one crane, then moving with that camera, following the actor, attaching it to another crane, and then that crane is attached to a car. That car takes off to keep following the actor in the same scene. And some scenes are 10 minutes long, some takes. So it's a series of long takes. That's incredible how they were able to pull it off so fluently in this. I mean, I love the movie. I think the movie's it's up there. It's definitely up there for war films.
What is his best war film?
The best horror film? I don't know. Saving Private Ryan is still up there for me.
The intro.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan is definitely up there. That's a perfect war movie.
Platoon? Which way, Platoon?
Platoon. There's a lot. This one. This is
Forrest Gump is
definitely
really
up
a war film. The first one has like that. Nah, is it? Not really.
Which one?
Forrest Gump. It has like that.
No. It has that one scene, but that's it. Dunkirk definitely up there,
Yeah.
but this movie's definitely up there. I mean, it's great. What else? Because what it's able to do by the end of the movie, it is true what people are saying. It is like an emotional roller coaster because there's no stepping away from the tension. It really does require your focus the whole time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's one scene in the beginning when they're going through the no man's land and you see the whole field and it feels like you're there, you know? It's honestly like insane. It's the movie's like an experience. It is kind of like Dunkirk in that sense where you have to watch this in a theater and really get that experience out of it, you know? What else? What else did you like from the movie? I'm trying to think without getting into spoilers, I guess, before we get into spoilers.
I only had like 2 issues with
Which
it.
was
Well, I had to say in spoilers. I can't really say like now, but like I had 2 things like I kind of threw me off a little bit that I was kind of confused by.
what does it involve? Like, is it a pacing issue or
It
is it
was like a transition that felt weird.
yeah, there are some. There's very few, but there are some transitions in the editing that you can tell. Okay, we're just doing this so that we can pass through the next scene, which is completely understandable. Every movie has to do that. There's no way they can actually do this in one long take. But for the most part, most of them are pretty seamless. There are maybe like 1 or 2 that that definitely that you can tell they're obvious. It's just for that transition and the editing.
Oh.
Watching, it might be the same thing that you're talking about. I think I might know what you're talking about, which we'll talk about in spoilers. But watching it the second time, I did get little things more the second time around. I did appreciate the movie a lot more the second time. The first time at the theater I was at, the audio was a little weird. I felt like I wasn't in it, you know, like the audio wasn't sounding really loud. It was like really quiet for some reason. This theater this time around it was a lot better. Even with the 4DX, it kind of added even more to it, you know. Yeah, I'm curious to know what you're gonna say about that in spoilers. So one issue is with a transition, and what was the other one?
And there was another like transition part 2 that it kind of threw me off a little bit. It kind of like
Okay.
there was like 2 parts where like when it moved on to the next scene, it kind of I was a little confused by it.
Okay. So we'll get into that in spoilers then. I do have to say the movie, it does benefit not knowing much about it. We saw the trailers, but
I only saw the first one. It was like
yeah,
a minute.
things happen in this movie that you don't really expect to happen, and the story takes like all these different turns, and it it really is like a great experience. It really is, because especially that we don't know anything about the story. We know the foundation of the story. These 2 guys are sent to stop the 2 battalions from going into attack the Germans because it's a trap, and you know, they have like, I believe it's till dawn to stop them from attacking. So it really is suspenseful. It's shot beautifully. I mean, you can tell, to be able to make the movie look so good while making it all in one long take is impressive. Because I feel like that's always a compromise when you have you want to do a long take, but then that means that's gonna probably sacrifice your lighting and what you want out of the movie. And here they were able to do both, using natural lighting and different tricks and stuff like that. I mean, they really went all out with this. This movie, I was looking it up here. It's doing really well. I think it's exceeding expectations for usually in January every year. Like the movies don't
I
do that
think
well,
of the Golden Globes. Like
probably. But
since it
this
won a few
movie,
awards, it got more hype. And plus, a lot of people have been wanting to see this movie since.
yeah,
But because a
it's,
lot of people were seeing it early, so they're all like, was getting rave praise. So people been wanting to see this movie for a while. Like,
yeah. I think also, especially right now, what's trending on Twitter, on social media, is the behind the scenes of this movie, and they're showing
yeah,
how the movie was made, and that's hyping it up even more right now. People want to go see it because of that, you know. So
yeah,
that because I somebody said it on Twitter. There's a video of them filming a huge action scene. It's one of the long takes, and you see the behind the scenes and the actual footage of the movie. And people are saying this is more beneficial. This is doing more than for marketing than the trailers did. You know, so that right there, they're just getting more marketing off of that. And I think
yeah.
the movie's gonna make pretty good money. The movie was 100 million to make, which is that's a pretty fair budget compared to what we
Yeah.
usually see nowadays. Right now, it's made 60 million. I'm not sure if
Let's
this
see if
is.
Bad Boys comes out this week. So let's see.
Let me see.
'Cause I
Let
know
me
Bad Boys
double
comes
check
out,
on that.
so maybe that will affect it a little bit.
Yeah, right now it's making 60 million. It's a surprise hit. Usually January movies don't do well in the box office.
And plus, it's a
It
war film too. So
Yeah, and it passed Rise of Skywalker for number one, so it's doing well right now. Uh, it's true though with Bad Boys coming out, is that gonna I don't know Bad Boys. I have a weird feeling about Bad Boys. I don't know why I feel like not many people are gonna care about it.
no, it's Will Smith.
I don't know. Will Smith lately, he's been like on this flop streak. Except Aladdin did well, but Aladdin was all right.
That's because
But
Disney.
yeah, but I don't know. But no, this movie's doing really well in the box office. $100 million budget.
If you had to
Which is
choose, I would choose 1917.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, this movie, it's you have to watch it in theaters. It's just there's nothing like it. There really isn't. Watching it the second time, even
yeah,
better, especially with the 4DX. The 4DX, I actually didn't mind it in this movie because there's scenes when they're running and all that. It doesn't shake when they're running, but there is like a combat, like a hand-to-hand combat scene in this movie. I think you know which one I'm talking about, and the seat is like moving with it and all that. When people are firing their shots, you feel the air behind your ear, like if you're getting shot at. So it's really cool. It was just the right amount for this movie. I really enjoyed this movie. And set pieces, you know, because there's some movies that they're all in one take, but they're in one location. Kind of like the one that we saw, the Alfred Hitchcock Rope. That was one of the first movies to do it. I don't know if you remember that one that we saw it. Remember about the guys that they had the dead body?
yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first to do it. I know Birdman did it. Uh, but this is one of the very few movies that you have a new location, especially in a massive war film. You have a new location and set pieces, and you're traveling miles with this character all in one take. That's extremely hard. There's a behind the scenes video on this movie, and I definitely recommend you guys watch it. It's like 10 minutes long, but if you see everything that goes into this, they had to rehearse for 4 months. The process and the procedures that they do to keep the camera moving. They go from one guy on a motorcycle and he's traveling through to then carry out the the camera and attach it to the car, and the car takes off, and then it's on a wire. All this for one long shot, and it seems seamless. When you watch the movie, you wouldn't think that they're doing all that. It's kind of crazy because you see all the motion and behind the scenes, but when you're watching the movie, it looks so smooth and like if there's nobody there, you know. It's honestly like it's crazy to me. It's really crazy. What would you give this movie? What would you rate it?
I'll probably give it like a 9. And I
Yeah,
would give it 10, but I have to see it one more time. See.
I'm I'm maybe I'm like at an 8 or a 9 right now. 8 or a 9. 8 or a 9. Um, just cause I don't know. I don't know. There are some scenes that are really cool in this movie. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how to. It's like little nitpicky things that I guess I can get into spoilers. Uh, I'm gonna give this an 8, like a high 8 right now. I think it's a really good 8 for me. Um, still, yeah, I got to think about it a little bit more, but I think right now I'm gonna give it an 8. Uh, so I give it an 8. What did you give it, a 9?
Give it a 9.
Okay. Should we get into spoilers? Is there anything else that you wanted to mention?
No? No?
All right, yeah. So we're gonna get into spoilers right now, guys. So stay tuned. If you haven't seen the movie yet, we recommend taking a step back, watch the movie, come back and finish up the review with us. We're gonna get into spoilers right now. All right. So, first I want to know, what was your issues with the transitions? Which transitions were they that kind of threw you off?
It was the part, when the plane crashes,
Uh-huh.
and like like when the kid dies and stuff.
Yeah.
I found it weird that like those soldiers were there.
Yeah, like when they kind of just showed up
Yeah,
right
they kind
after.
of showed up, and then like the camera goes like follows them, and they come out the other side. And there's all those trucks and stuff. So it's kind of like, wait, were they there the whole time? Did they see all
Yeah.
that happen? Did not do anything?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of weird. I was like, that kind of
Yeah.
threw me a little bit. I didn't really like. I said, wait,
Yeah.
what?
The first time I saw it, I thought the same thing. I was like, wait, why didn't they, like, if they were there, they could have helped him or something, or
Yeah,
you know,
and they didn't
what?
hear it. They didn't hear it. They didn't hear none of that.
Yeah. Watching it the second time, I kind of forgave it a little bit more. Just because if you look at the amount of time that's happening, the barn was already completely on fire, and they showed up because of the fire. They were traveling through. So by the time he does die and everything, I think they had just got there. It is kind of weird how he sees those two guys and everybody's already like peeing on the building and everybody's just set ready to go. That did throw me off a little bit. I did forgive him more the second time though. Like the timing seemed better the second time around. Me knowing that was gonna happen. Um, yeah, but I kind of felt the same way too. I was like, oh wait, were they there the whole time? Or
And the other part was when he gets off the truck and he's climbing, and the guy from the building starts shooting. Like another weird moment was like, wait, the people on the trucks are not shooting back. They don't see.
yeah, that part. I don't know if they had taken off already. Maybe they left.
I didn't hear
And
no thugs in the background. Like I
yeah,
don't know, because it was pretty soon. Like he goes, climbs, jumps, and then that's when the guy started shooting. I was like, wait, why are the people in the trucks not helping him? Why are they not shooting at the tower? Why are they not?
yeah. My guess is I think they probably drove off already, and maybe that guy just started firing at him because he was crossing over. The guy wouldn't be stupid to shoot at a whole battalion or something, But maybe he just shot at him because he was the only one crossing through. Maybe they took off. Uh, maybe. That's like my defense to that. But yeah, I kind of thought the same thing with those. That it's like, wait, but this just happened, so And I think that's
Yeah.
one of the things that you get with trying to do a movie like this on one continuous take. You are gonna have little moments like that where the timing has to be perfect. And I think for the most part they've done it pretty well with this movie. The attention to detail is honestly really great. The one thing that the first time around it kind of threw me off was when he gets shot in the head and it cuts to black. Uh, I was like, whoa, wait, what just happened? And then we kind of got like a little time jump, I guess, of a few hours.
Yeah,
Um,
he was knocked out.
yeah, which watching it the second time, I got it a little bit more because they needed to uh they needed to have him go through that because if not he would have just gotten there on time. Like there would be no sense of urgency of him running out of time to stop because when he gets shot it's daytime. When he wakes up it's already nighttime. We don't know how long it's been, so now the stakes are a little higher. So yeah, I kind of like I thought about that. I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. And since he blacked out, we kind of blacked out with him. He kind of passed out. Uh, I guess that was one of their more clever ways to have some time pass by. Because I did think about that the first time. I was like, wait, if it takes them, this is gonna be like a 6 to 7 hour journey. How do you pull that off without jumping, time jumping or anything? That's how they did it, which I think made sense. Um, what did you think of the airplane scene when they're dog fighting and the guy stabbing the kid? Which, by the way, the death of he's the Lannister, right, from Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
he's Tommy
Yeah,
himself in season.
yeah, yeah.
No,
He
season
does.
7.
His acting in this is amazing. He was so believable.
Yeah,
That's his death scene. I really felt that death scene. I felt like that was so believable and realistic. You
yeah,
know, he really pulled off like that. Just him in pain. Uh, I don't know how I felt about how he died. We didn't really see it or anything. We just kind of like turn around. Maybe that was the point, just to kind of show you like 1 second he's there, the next second he gets
yeah,
stabbed. You
yeah.
know, that's kind of like what I'm thinking. What did you think of that scene with the plane crashing and all
Oh,
that?
it was really cool. Like it was intense. Like that was really good. That was really good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really liked it.
yeah. I love how much this movie takes its time.
Yeah,
When he was dying, it didn't just like make him die right away. He was trying to get out. He was trying to get up and go, moving him around, and it was just kind of slowly, just showing him like slowly dying. Um, One thing I did like that the parallel that I noticed when he's dying. What was his name? Will, right? No, what was the character his name in the movie?
I forgot.
I forgot too, but uh, when he's dying, he tells Will, he's like, keep talking to me, and then he talks to him until he dies. Which when he died, I was a complete shock because I thought he was one
Yeah,
of the main. I thought he was the main actor.
yeah,
And then we go from him and we just keep following along now with Will, and he takes over the rest of the story. And I thought that was great because then you kind of see Will's character change a lot too.
yeah.
But
Because he kind of was like regretting going.
yeah, he didn't care.
He didn't care, and the main was more there. His brother was in trouble. He wanted to make it to his brother, and
Yeah,
he's the one that ends up getting stabbed and killed. And there he
yeah,
saved his life. He saved his life.
yeah. It kind of sets him up as the main protagonist, but not. And then it's like nope, and they kill him off, and it's actually Will's character that's the main protagonist, which I
Yeah,
thought that was really interesting. They did that really well, and how um, with that parallel, I was going to mention how when he says keep talking to me, later on in the movie when he meets the woman with the baby, and she tells him keep talking, but now it's with instead of newborn baby rather, and then he was doing that for someone who was dying in front of him, and then now he's doing it for someone who's just kind of like just newly born and like just
yeah,
came into the world. So I felt like that was kind of like this little parallel there. You know, he's like talking people, as they're dying and kind of like leaving the world, and then he's talking to people like there's people that are coming into the world. I don't know. I kind of picked up that little parallel the second time around. I thought that was interesting because it's the same exact line too. It's like keep talking, you know. So I thought that was interesting. Um, what was the other thing? I loved the transition of when you see this character die, and Will has to just keep moving, and he gets in the truck, and again, it's all in one take, so it's just showing his face in that truck, and it just shows everybody else kind of like everybody else has a different type of day, like everybody in the truck is just talking and joking around. They don't really care about anything. They're just going through their normal stuff in the war, and he just saw someone die, and it's kind of just showing how something like that can happen, and then but everybody's just kind of like moving on to the next thing, or there's so I thought that was a really cool little touch there. And I think that's what the long takes help with this movie a lot, kind of showing like, look how crazy, like, this kid just died in front of him. He's in the bus and all he's thinking about is that, but then he's just on to the next thing with everybody else, and everybody else is talking, and they're like in a whole different mindset, and he's just went through that. But it kind of just shows, I guess, with the war, how it is that everybody's just in a different thing, and everybody, it's interesting. I don't know, it's how you just kind of have to move on from that, and it's like on to the next step, and then he's still stuck on it, obviously because it just happened, and everybody else has no idea of what just happened right like 5 minutes ago. I don't know, it's really interesting how they did that. And again, I think it all works even better because of the long takes, because it's just following you through that. You do kind of feel like a member of, like, the third member of that group going to stop the battalions, What else? What else? Is there anything else you wanted to add about this? Anything you wanted to kind of pinpoint?
The part where he doesn't shoot the guy when he stares him like across the field, like in the burning.
Yeah. When he just runs away.
Yeah, I think why is he running? Like.
Yeah, he has shot the other guy. I figured, okay, shoot back. But I don't know if at that point he just didn't even want to shoot anymore, and he just wanted to run for it, or. But you would think he would shoot back, right? Like.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know why he didn't. Because after he doesn't really shoot his gun again. After that, he just runs for it.
Yeah, he drops his gun.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, that was interesting. That was an interesting choice there. I get why they did it, because him running away, it makes it a little bit more intense. But yeah, I was like, why isn't he just shooting back? But I guess at that point he was just scared. He knew he was outnumbered in there, and he just decided to just run for it. That's the only thing I can really think of. What else? Benedict Cumberbatch is in this movie. I think his character, we only see him for a little small amount of time, but I thought he was perfect for that role.
Yeah.
They gave him the little eye scar, and you really believe it. I kind of forgot that he was Doctor Strange for a second.
Yeah, he's a veteran actor though. So.
Yeah, he's really good, and I mean, of course, the main scene is that climatic scene where he gets on the field and he's sprinting through the field.
Yeah.
Explosions going off, and that's the scene that everybody's talking about. A great scene, man. I mean, and watching that again in 4DX with the explosions going off, you feeling the explosions, and he's just running for it. I love the improv that they were talking about, how he actually did bump into the extras and fell, but they kept rolling.
Yeah.
And they kept going. I think that actually helped it a lot. That was a great scene between the music and just the shot and everything about it. That was perfect.
And Rob Stark is in the movie too.
Yeah, Rob Stark. There's a lot of actors in this, and they have like small little roles. Because even what's this guy from Shazam?
Farrell. Oh my God, what's his name from King's Speech? He's the main guy from
King's Speech, Shazam.
What's his name?
I forgot his name. I know he's in Kick-Ass.
Yeah, and the villain in Shazam is in it too. The villain from Shazam.
Yeah, man. It's got a great cast. The actors did great in this. I love how it ends
Colin
too.
Firth, right? Is Colin Firth.
Colin Firth is in it too. Yeah.
Yeah, from Kingsman. He's in Kingsman.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
yeah,
actually both in Kings. They're actually both in Kingsman.
Yeah, they are.
They're both in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all did good. They all like small
Yeah,
roles,
no.
but they all did well.
yeah, and I love how it ends. You know, it's him walking, sits down. I kind of got like a Avengers like Endgame or Infinity War vibe. You know, when Donald sits down, the camera goes around him, and the
Yeah, and I
sunset.
like how he looks at the picture, how he kind of like he wants to go back and with his family, and
Yeah,
because in the beginning he didn't care. Like beginning he didn't want to go back. He didn't want to see.
yeah, he was in a different mindset. And,
Yeah, after going through that, it changes his way of because he saw the brother.
yeah,
That was a good scene. Like
yeah.
when
They didn't overdo it. They just kind of let it happen naturally. It was really well done. Really well done. Uh, and yeah, I think it just ends perfectly. Like the cut to black.
yeah, he did it. Like he did what he was sent out to do.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's great. The production design on this is amazing. To actually build those trenches that long,
Yeah.
you know, and to pull that off, it's amazing.
And the
Amazing.
movie's amazing. The movie's really good. I would
Yeah.
give it a 10, but I had to see it one more time. And
Yeah. Yeah, it has those little issues that I think hold it back a little bit, you know?
yeah,
Uh, like little, yeah, you know, just small little things that they needed to happen to enhance the story,
yeah,
which I
Yeah.
get, but it does like affect it a little bit. Um,
but it's a great movie.
yeah, no, it's definitely an experience to watch this,
Yeah.
definitely. What else? Anything else before we?
No. I mean, the shots were amazing in the movie, of course. I mean, the cinematography is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like to be able to make this movie look so beautiful while making it all in one take. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they're still getting good shots, but there's just no cutting. You know, there's one shot where he's looking at the building burning, and that's when the guy shows up, and he's
Yeah.
on the other side.
yeah.
That was kind of scary. You know.
I don't know, but it's an amazing movie. Just go watch it.
Yeah, that scene where he's choking out the guy, and
That
the
was
other
good,
drunk
yeah.
guy. Yeah, that was great.
It was well done. Well done.
Yeah, it's same the behind the scenes. I can only imagine how much prep and work they had to put in for this. It's just because when you watch it, it seems so seamless. You think it's so simple, and then you watch the behind the scenes and all the stuff they had to do to pull it off. The camera work they literally had two cars, one car with a crane pulling one camera, then people ready to come out, take off the camera, run following the actor, attach it to another car with a crane, then take off with that car to keep following the actor. It's like that's insane, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I would definitely recommend you watch this movie. It's out in theaters. It's doing really well in the box office right now. I think it has one of the higher records for January release because I know there's like a thing where January is usually the worst month for movies, but so far it's riding high right now. We got 1917. Hopefully, Bad Boys is good when that comes out this week.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm a little iffy on it, but let's see.
Next
Let's
month,
see.
let's pray too.
Next month is Birds of Prey. So let's see. We'll be doing another podcast maybe like tomorrow or something. I want to catch up with you guys and all the stuff that's been going on. There's a lot of film news going around, especially with that Hawkeye news. There's like Hawkeye's gonna be delayed or something, which is not a good sign. So there's a lot of things going around that we definitely want to talk about. But yeah, guys, 1917, definitely recommend it. Anything else, Josh, that you want to throw in there about the movie?
Go watch
Maybe. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything.
It's an amazing movie. The movie is amazing. It's an incredible movie. It's
Yeah,
been a good year for movies. You got a lot of good movies.
yeah. One thing I did want to throw out there, when the kid gets stabbed, I kind of wish we got something or saw something of that a little bit.
No, because I think in that scene, I was kind of showing like you're following Will, like you're following him. Like if you noticed that, like it was kind of like
Yeah.
I wanted to stay with him because I wanted to show his shock.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know, because the audience is following him. So I think what they wanted to wear, like
It's true. It's true because in the beginning of the movie starts with him. Like it shows, he's being woken up. Like Will's being woken up by I forgot the character's name, by the younger brother. And
yeah,
then when he gets up, that's when we start following them. So it's like, it's kind of this little misleading thing where you think this guy's the main character, but he's not actually. It's this
yeah,
one. But you don't
yeah,
even realize it until maybe when you watch it more times. So that's a good point. That could be probably why as
yeah.
well.
Because I wanted to show. Because think about it, like we were in shock when you see him die. That's what Will felt. Like, wait, he was just there. Like he was just there. Now
Yeah.
he's stabbed and he's gone.
Yeah.
So
Trying to
so
save the
that's
guy.
yeah.
The
So that's
German.
what that's what I was doing. I was following Will to where he's going to go get water, and then he turns around and his best friend is dead.
Yeah. It kind of just shows you how in a split second
Yeah,
anything can happen too. You know.
yeah.
I would say that. And what was there another moment? Uh, I had it in mind. Now I forgot. The stabbing, which that one wasn't that big of a deal. Uh, man, I can't remember the other one. It might have been maybe what we talked about with the not firing back,
Yeah.
or what was the other one? Oh, this one's minor as well. But when that trip mine in the cave or in the trench, the underground,
Uh-huh.
I kind of wish they had done. And again, I know they can't because they can't cut. It's all in one take. But instead of the character saying that there was a trip mine there, and then you only see it for like a split second, I wish that part was done a little bit more like suspenseful or more terrifying. Because I feel like that part was kind of handled very casually. He was like, he was scared, obviously, but he said it. He said it before we saw it. You know what I mean? So I feel like him saying it, then the camera looks down and we see the wire. I feel like it didn't make it as scary, but it does make up for it with the rat falling and pulling on the thing, and then they blow up. It does make up for it with that, because that was great. And then from there, we got a great scene of them trying to get out of there. It was collapsing from, the inside out, and then. But other than that, though, I can't really think of anything else.
No.
But
No.
I don't know if you think that is. Do you think that, or you think that scene, like that part, was fine with the tripwire?
I thought it was really good. I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I guess not that the scene is bad or anything. But I understand that it's all in one long take, so they can't cut to give you a different shot of, the wire being there or something. So they had to kind of like. It is kind of like if you're the third person there and you're just following their move.
Yeah.
That's honestly what it feels like. That's the best way to explain it, because there are a lot of moments where the camera's shifting left and right, following the characters. It does feel like you're that third person, So that kind of does. It does make sense for that scene as well. But yeah, guys, that's our review on 1917. I hope you guys enjoy this format. We want to keep doing the podcast, even if it's from long distance. There's a lot of things we want to talk about. Anything else you want to mention, Josh, before we wrap it up?
No.
I feel like we're like slash film, because they're all like in different locations now. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, feel free to leave a like or a subscribe. And we're gonna be posting up a lot more stuff now. We're officially back. We just have to get some stuff set up and getting everything ready with the New Year's that came by. Hope you guys had a good holiday and everything, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Till next time.